Right, moving on from South Africa to Nigeria, where the Social Economic Rights and Accountability Project has filed a lawsuit against the president, Muhammadu Buhari, over his failure to probe allegations of over 880 billion naira missing public funds from 367 ministries, departments, and agencies, and ensure the prosecution of those suspected to be responsible. SERAP says the missing funds have hindered the ability of the MDAs to meet the needs of the citizens. Now, let's now bring in SERAP's Deputy Director, Kolawole Oluwadare, to the program. Good morning and welcome to Breakfast Central. Can you tell us about the suit filed against the president over the missing funds? Kolawole.
Thank you very much. The suit was an aftermath of the letter we're reaching to the president earlier in the year, calling on him to take action on the Auditor General's report. You will recall that the Auditor General of the Federation issues reports from time to time, annually by the provision of the Constitution, highlighting both the spendings and the allocations and expenditures of all federal parastatals and agencies in Nigeria. And so this is from the 2018 report, part 2, released by the Auditor General of the Federation, where he details that over more than 800 MDAs could not account for, over 300 MDAs could not account for over 800 billion naira. And naturally, the president is the one that statutorily appoints the Auditor General of the Federation. And in view of the serious financial issues we have, with the growing deficit of over 6 trillion in the 2022 budget, one would think that it will be the priority of government that has paid so much lip service to fighting corruption, to find a way not only to recover these funds, but to make sure that public officers who are culpable face the wrath of the law. And that is why we have gone to court, because advocacy by way of open letter to the president to do the lawful thing has failed. And we are very hopeful that the court will find in our favor.
All right. SERAP had taken the president to court on various issues before the current one. And what's your assessment so far on the role of civil society groups in defending good governance, among others?
I would say that role has never changed. And if you ask me to assess how civil society has fared in their different roles as part of the integral part of society, I would say that we've done much more, if not better, than government. Government had the statutory powers and both the finances and resources to fight corruption and ensure socio-economic rights to Nigerians. But government has not done well in that regard, particularly at the administration of President Muhammadu Buhari. And that is why you see civil society stepping in the gap more often than not in consistent advocacy to remind government of its obligations, and in instances like SERAP does from time to time, to go to court to enforce that right. So I would say that society has fared much more than government in this regard.
Right. Now, Kolawole, SERAP appears to be a lone ranger in the anti-corruption drive in the last few years, don't you think?
I don't think so. There are other society organizations doing good work, some of which we partnered with in the course of our work. We had the budget codes and other civil society organizations also consistent advocacy in different areas of civil society. But maybe what you'll be referring to will be the legal advocacy that we do from time to time, which is by way of public interest litigation, which of course we have the right to do so as citizens of Nigeria, particularly since the courts are vested with that power to adjudicate between citizens and between citizens and government under Section 6 of the Constitution. Maybe that is what reinforces the idea that we're lone ranger. But it is important to note that these litigations also set a precedent, and also is the only thing we can do as law-abiding citizens to ensure that government obeys the law.
All right. Kolawole, are you in collaboration with other like minds on this struggle? And what's your take on the role of media as the watchdog of the society?
Yes. Like I mentioned, we work and partner with civil society organizations from time to time. So we have veritable partners across the divide, civil society, even organizations that are affiliates that do the same work that we do, including citizens themselves with the active use of social media, which is why you see some of our suits have citizens as co-plaintiffs or applicants with us if they've indicated their interest to file a lawsuit. And I must point out that the role of the media, not only statutorily provided by Section 22 of the Constitution, is very important. But what we've seen is that with government activities, particularly under this present administration, constricting the civic space more and more, it leaves the media with little or no space to be able to play that statutory role effectively, which is why we take it upon ourselves as part of our advocacy to ensure that the civic space is not only free, but also the freedom of expression on both sides of the divide, that is to receive and impart information, is kept open, which is, of course, informs some of the litigations we've taken too. We have 2 against the NBC presently, and also 1 at the ECOWAS court, regarding the way the National Broadcasting Commission have been misusing its powers and abusing the right of freedom of expression in regulating media organization.
Now, Kolawole, looking at the TSA, that's the single treasury account, has this played a good role in ensuring that transparency of funds like this is brought to the public light?
We need to understand the context of things, that there are various accountability stakeholders in the accountability cycle. The TSA is just one of those mechanisms. But you would agree with me that laws or policies in itself do not ensure that corruption doesn't work. It is the people that drive that system, which is why the political will at the highest level, from the president right to the local government, the councillor, is very important. But what we've seen so far is the lack of the political will, or at the least the unwillingness of the president or even public officers to demonstrate that political will to implement policies. So while the TSA is good, and while the Auditor General mechanism is also good as one of those things, what we need to see, and which we are yet to see more of, is that political will to implement the laws to ensure that the systems work, and whoever is found culpable in this in the process is faces justice. We've not seen that enough, if at all.
All right. Thank you so much, Kolawole Oluwadare, Deputy Director, SERAP, for being with us on The Breakfast this morning.